Onion. Hi!
Delicious plastic cheese.
Welcome! I'm just gonna let this cheese get drowned over by this music.
Shut
Which
up.
is reaching its loudest point, and I'll just pretend that I'm not having cheese thrown in my face by only. Anyway, hello, hi. No, I cannot drown the cheese out no matter what. Oh god. I just remember there are some cheese sounds I was meant to add to the cheese sound database that I haven't yet. Soon we'll have a uni cheese and then a Yamanokami cheese, but today's not that day because I forgot. Hello, welcome, Omni, welcome Birchish, hi Tense, hi, welcome Ear, welcome in the Kage, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry, but welcome. Hello, hi Omni and all your goddamn cheese, hi
Cheese.
About that. Hi Jockey Bro, hi Egoist as well, hello, hi Buck. Why does it sound like almost something electronic, like a high side buck converter or something? Anyway, hello. How am I? I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm not entirely sure what to stream, as you can probably tell by the stream title, which, you know what, I think I might just not rename it. Just as like a funny stream title to maintain. It'll be even more confusing on YouTube probably, because people will probably keep on saying in the comments, hey, you forgot to rename it. Anyway. Hello. Hi. Also, Omni, I have refunded you for the saving of the kidneys, because I did do that. I did do it. Before starting, so you didn't need to pay for it. Wait, what? What do you mean? Oh, I did it! Why am I being...
Cheese it.
It hit me on the side. How'd it do that? Hi, welcome, Dara. Welcome. Glad to see that you're like getting target practice. Throwing the cheese at me while I'm being muted. Hello, how are you doing? Kukey? I don't know if that sounds nice. That sounds... Hello. Or is it just cucky? I'm not sure. Side cheese. Yeah, it's like... Probably thrown by the same person that the eating hand belongs to, right? They just have like a really, really long arm span. The one that was bringing me back was also the one that threw the cheese in from the side. It's like cookie? Oh, okay. I see. I see. I didn't. But now I do. Hello. How are peeps? I hope the peeps are doing alright. That's you. That's you. You. Wait, I'm not pointing quite well enough for the on-screen chat. I'm pointing well for the off-screen chat. The Twitch native one. But yeah, that's you. All the peeps. Hope you're alright. Hello, welcome. That's not like an official, you know, group name or something. I just, yeah, I don't know if I have one of that. I've heard some people refer to themselves as cheeses. Hello, fellow cheeses. Holds cheese slice over back. But yeah, hi, welcome. I forgot you're British. Buskit. Nah, cookie is used to be like a well, I mean, we have cookies over here as well. They're just cookies. They're a type of biscuit. But not every biscuit is a cookie. Anyway, but also it's used as like an affectionate word. Jesus Christ, no, I don't think that's gonna be the name for the group of people. Peeps is a candy. What? Okay, what up? I know that Nerds is a American candy. I feel like American candy is redundant if I'm using the word candy. Why is my audio dying? I'm just beginning. Computer, please. But yeah, Peeps is also candy. Where's okay, right. Well, there's no stream title, so I'm having a look already. Peeps candy. This feels like something that the UK government's going to be trying to ban. Oh, okay, it's like rabbits or something. Looks cute. Looks like astatin. This looks like edible astatin. Look at this. Hold on. Hold on, you can't look at anything yet, especially not when it's on that window because that's the one that's set up for showing. Look at this. This is Half-Life 2 according to my... What the fuck? Wait, why is the 2 cut off at the edge of the screen? Oh, it's not. It was just the... Never mind, it was the blue outline on OBS. When I had this positioned over here, I was like, why is the 2 cut off? But it's not. Anyway, holy crap, this has got to be a record for levels deep of ADHD we're going at the very beginning. Anyway, look at these things. £55! Holy shit! It's like $70 or something. Maybe more. Anyway, let me get rid of the icon. Hi, Estetin. How are you doing? Hi, Birchish. Welcome, welcome. Oh, wait, there's a Jockey pan incoming!
Did you hear about the Roman emperor who stopped aging after he turned 19? Yes, it was Emperor Constantine.
Emperor Constantine. Why the hell did she say 19? What the... That's not even my code that's doing that. That's the voice cloning app. That's literally the name of it. Code doing that. That's weird. Anyway, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Good job. I'm fiddling with my hair a lot right now. Sorry, I don't know why.
1919.
Yeah, it's like one-ine as well. It's like not even. Anyway. Hello. It's like it's not even leaving a gap between them when it's internally making the pronunciation. How are peeps? I'm not going to be naming the stream this stream, don't worry. We're going to be doing much less useful stuff this stream. Hang on. But you know what? Why am I so low down? You know what? There we are. That's much more important. Patting the ass. Oh god, I turned the thing the wrong way. Is he digit-lexic? Maybe. I was about to do a thing before I started getting distracted by something. I don't know what. Why is the music so loud? Oh yeah, right, I was gonna get rid of the Half-Life 2 logo. Okay, done. You can't see it though because I still got nothing on the screen. Amazing. So, I've done a bit more work on the pet Long Yook over the past few days. Just little tiny little bits each day. Not a huge amount of stuff. But I did a little bit more benchmarking of the Talkie library, the voice synthesis library. I think I've sped it up very slightly. Not really sure. I don't feel like I can squeeze much more out of it without, you know, doing assembly stuff. I moved a bunch of if statements that get like checked fairly regularly, thinking, wow, you know, the ARM CPU is going to be doing things like branch prediction and stuff. So like if statements aren't good for it, right? We should make this branchless. So I removed the if statements. Yeah, it's slower. I swear nothing makes any fucking sense trying to optimize for this microcontroller. It's just, you gotta measure it and see what actually happens. Anyway. Yeah. So for those who don't know, this is the project where I'm trying to make like a little electronic pet. Like a Tamagotchi. A bit cuter in my opinion, and with less potential for suffering. Just realized I don't have the project folder open. I just deleted my entire projects folder. Amazing. I mean, not really deleted, but just started moving to the recycling. But where is it? Where are we? Where's the? Oh, I don't have it in here, do I? There we are. Photos. Hi, Kendall. Welcome. Rule number 1 in optimization: don't. Oh no. I don't like this. I love the fact that it's like easier to optimize on the 8-bit CPUs, which are just simpler and do what you tell them to. Anyway. Hello. Hope the candle is doing alright. I'm sorry to be screaming in your ears the moment you say hi. Okay, I'm pressing the button now. Boop! So the thingy looks like this. So it doesn't even look like this anymore. Do I have the videos here where it was doing rain? I think I do, right? There's rain and snow at the same time with the quality of a potato because this is I still haven't put the photos the video straight from my phone. This is still phone compressed for YouTube, then downloaded from Discord again. We don't need the space for a logo if there's no logo. Get out of here. Yeah. But that optimizes your time spent not optimizing, which is optimization. Nice. Hi Nymph. Hi Fox. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, so this thing is meant to run on batteries. And because this is just like on a breadboard and stuff at the moment, but eventually it's going to be like a little handheld thing. You know, there'll be some kind of case made. I'm going to have to learn how to do flipping, like CAD for designing a plastic case for it. Thank you for the pads, Linted. Welcome in Linted as well. Last night I was trying to learn to use FreeCAD. Holy crap, what a broken program that is. Anyway. And it's not only me who thought that, because someone who's used it before was thinking that. And someone who's used other CAD programs. Thank you. Thank you, eGhost, for helping. Was also looking at it, and we're just looking at the live errors pile up. You literally add a circle and then a line, and like it's just like randomly throwing errors at the bottom. I also got an access violation. So say whatever you like about me not using the program as it's intended. That should never happen. Anyway. Anyway, I'm not going to be using FreeCAD today, or possibly ever. So, gonna be looking while cleaning my room. Feel free to yell at me or something. Fox! There you are. Oh, you saw it as well, didn't you? Yeah, you're in the channel where Maysaka and I were both playing around on the FreeCAD and Negress. Yeah. You didn't help? Oh, Nymph! Sorry, it was Nymph. Sorry. It was Nymph. Sorry. You were both in the call, right? Sorry. Nymph, thank you. Nymph was the one who's done CAD stuff before and was guiding me on the general idea, and not even just a general idea, literally guiding me on a program that they've never even used before. Anyway, so point is, this thing's gonna need to run on batteries, and like the circuits and stuff I'm gonna be designing are gonna be trying to minimize power consumption. I thought I'd found a good regulator, but now I found an even better voltage regulator that I'm gonna be using. So in fact, I found 3 voltage regulators at this point. Wait, what? There. I'm also probably going to be running it at 2.8 volts rather than 3.3 volts, and these are all for reasons which hopefully I'm going to be able to explain today now. Regulate ma. Yes. So after a bunch of searching, I stumbled via Google Images upon this page. And this page. You might say, wow, Yook, how did you stumble upon your own page saved on your own computer? No, I downloaded the page because it's so useful. I don't want it to go missing. But I'll find the original and I'll link it for anyone who's interested. What's it called again? Oh, it's literally title. Low current discharge. There it is. This is page 1 of their 2-page thing, if anyone's interested. Oh my god, why is it flipping the one on my laptop? I swear, that's not my laptop either, that's my computer. I'm pasting local links here. Why? I thought I chose the one that wasn't on my laptop. This one, yes, this one. The one is... No! Wait, that's the wrong one as well. I nearly posted it again. Wait, why is it not my history? Why is only page 2 in my history? Okay, I'm very confused right now. I've got 2 copies of page 2 in my history, but none of page... Okay, just click the damn link to view page 1. Okay, there we are. Leaked. Oh, damn it. I can't believe that I just posted that link while it was already shown up there. Anyway, here's the actual link. There you go. Thank you for the link. You're welcome. Don't not click it too quickly, otherwise you'll grind my computer to a halt. Anyway, so yeah, this is amazing. Welcome to the new people in the chat. This is the kind of quality that you can expect on my stream. Okay. Next you're going to tell me that your host name is localhost. No, it's not. It's actually not. It's 192.168. No, never mind. Hi David. Welcome. So there's a rather... Okay, hang on. Before I even show you this, actually, let me put some pretty graphs on the screen because this is, like, nice to look at. By the way, hashtag not sponsored by Duracell. Anyway, you're very kind, David. You're, no, the cuteness. No, you. Let's zoom in a little bit for this. Pixelating the... Well, not pixelating, blurring this a bit, but now you can read the text more easily on stream. Or on phone, especially. So, because this is going to need to run on batteries, well, I want it to be able to run on different batteries. Like, I don't just want to be able to run on alkaline batteries. I do want you to be able to use, you know, rechargeable batteries, right? Rather than just buying batteries and throwing them away, assuming that anyone still even knows what a battery is, because many companies are trying to do the planned obsolescence thingy where they're... No, is it planned obsolescence? No, what is it called? E-waste? Or something. The thing where you're not allowed to change your battery and you have to throw away your phone and, like, get a new one because they make it as hard as possible to change the battery. Making, you know, using non-standard batteries and gluing the damn thing shut. Speaking of which, I'm going to be trying to replace my phone battery in a few days. Wish me luck. Anyway, alkaline batteries, yes. They run on Fimsh. Thank you, Fox. This quality is far too high for what I expected from a cat walking over her keyboard. I'm doing my best. What the fuck? Let me just cut and paste the text that I just wrote. Somehow I wrote poker just by going on my keyboard. I wrote the word poker at the beginning of that text. How does it happen? All phone batteries should be easily replaceable. It's so weird that they're not. I know! Casinos. Oh shit, I gotta put that thing on my stream now. The content warning for gambling. No. Anyway, I don't know what the spike has lented. So here's the thing. Batteries discharge in different ways. And, like, I thought to myself, well, alkaline batteries are like 1.5 volts, right? And then there's NiMH, the nickel methyl hydrate ones. Rechargeable ones that say they're 1.2 volts, right? And then there's NiCad. I don't think they're sold anymore. And also nowadays there's like some fancy ass lithium ion ones. They managed to get the voltage down to like 1.5 volts. So I was like, okay. The reason I'm worrying about this at all is because the microcontroller can keep running down to a very, like, much lower voltage than you would want to drain the batteries to if they're rechargeable. Because if they're rechargeable, you don't want to be running them down to, like, really flat. Because that does, like, permanent damage. So, I want to, in some mechanism, like, whether it's hardware or software, like, stop doing things. Because if I do, the way to do it in software would be, like, measuring the voltage, and once it drops below a certain amount, I can just, like, put a thing on the LCD that says low battery, and then just drop the microcontroller into stop mode, where it uses, like, 2 microamps, which is, you know, as good as it's gonna get. Actually, I could turn off all of the peripherals and probably get it below that. It supposedly is possible to get it down to sub 1 microamp. I've never managed that though. I've only managed 1 point something. Anyway, this is tiny numbers, so that'll be okay. That'll be enough time for someone to see, hopefully, and like take it out, even if they don't notice for like days or weeks. Like a microamp of usage shouldn't be draining it much. So I want to know what voltage to stop at, right? But the different chemistries are different. So I was starting to look at these graphs. The market has decided they're like smaller phones. They like smaller phones more than easily replaceable batteries. Is it really the market though? If it's just companies doing it, and then all companies are doing it, and we don't really have a choice to buy it? Because I sure as hell don't like it. Don't touch my poker face. Why is my finger so high up? What's going on? This finger's like nearly down on my desk. I'm pointing my graphics tablet now. I'm poking your face. Oh, gambling with a knife and melting the glue off of phone batteries with 1,000-degree heat. I hope not. I've seen someone doing it online, like changing the battery, and they didn't need to use a glue gun, which is really nice. They're using like a, I don't know what you call it, like a little squeegee kind of thing to get it open, and then there are like clips on the edge that you can just like pop off by levering the pop off green by labeling the levering the like rotating the spudger thingy. And then there's crap loads of glue holding like the flat, like the back case, the center part of the case onto the battery, which is not great. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Nickel, metal, jingle, Heimer, Schmidt. What? Apple has decided that the market has decided. Yeah, the Apple has decided that the market has decided that nobody likes headphones. Or like normal headphones. They only like Apple headphones, I guess, and other Bluetooth ones, but like, you know, not like the headphone jack. What a meme that was, man. What a meme. Removing the headphone jack. Keeping the LiPo battery not user serviceable also helps prevent accidental punctures leading to massive fires. I mean, did that ever happen with like the old Nokia phones? Because you could just pop the back of that and put in the new batteries. I can't say I ever heard of that happening with the old Nokia like 3310 series. 3310 is not a series, a specific model, but you know what I mean. One of my old Androids has begun swelling. That's kind of terrifying. Yeah, please, sooner rather than later. At least put it in an explosion containment pie dish, as Big Clive would say. That being one made of metal, not plastic. It's in a fireproof place. Okay, nice. I'm glad. Okay, I'm really happy that you like the people think about that. A metal dish full of sand, ideally. Why did I imagine a dish full of rice? I think it's because I was thinking of like the drying moisture out thing. And if you put the thing in rice and then it goes all fiery, then you'll get fried rice. Okay, so firstly, I wanted to decide on like a voltage that the pet Long Yook's gonna run on. And I originally thought... okay, so originally I was thinking that alkaline batteries are 1.5 volts, right? And then IMH batteries are 1.2 volts. Turns out alkaline batteries aren't really 1.5 volts under any normal load for any much length of time. Like they kind of average around like 1.3 volts under a light load, and like averaging more like maybe 1.25 or 1.2 under a heavier load. And by heavy load here, it's 200 milliamps, which is, I don't know if I call that heavy, but I guess it is for a AA. Yeah, this is what the graph looks like for an alkaline battery. And this is what a graph looks like for an NIMH battery. Oh, well, yeah, let's just use this Kodak one, hashtag not sponsored, as an example of an NIMH one. Wait, this is not NIMH. Where's NIMH? Is this NIMH? It's not NIMH, this is zinc. Where the hell are NIMH ones? This is not NIMH either. This is NIMH. Am I stupid? I'm a little stupid. Let's go with this. There we are. Look! They start far above 1.2 as well, and then they come down. Look at this. So, interesting how the low ones have stair steps kind of on the alkaline. Look how interesting this is. Look how flipping consistent this voltage is. Between 5 milliamps and 200 milliamps. Like, look, it's barely being pulled down at all. It's so cool. Yeah. It's really impressive, actually. Which one is this? Is this also an IMH? I'm guessing it is. I've seen Nanoloops for sale. I don't know if... Are they an IMH? Look, they're really tight across as well. Wait, was this... Oh, that's AAA. This is AA. The only real difference between the AAA and AA is how long it lasts. It seems. This is the oddball. This is the lithium, the weird lithium ones, and we'll get to that. But I'll use this as an example of an IMH, I guess. So what I was originally thinking is that I would have 4 batteries, AA or AAA, just to get like a 6-volt thingy, because I was thinking of alkaline, right? Because 6 volts is like cleanly above the 3.6 volts that I was considering using. And if you were to use an IMH, that'd be 1.2, 2.4, 3.6, 4.8, right? 4.8 volts. Because like 3 batteries would only be 3.6, and if I'm wanting to regulate to 3.3, that doesn't give much headroom. I'd very quickly drop below that. So that's why I was originally thinking of that. And after looking at this, I'm realizing there's not actually that big a difference between alkaline and IMH. And then I also realized that I don't even need to be using 3.6 volts, because everything that I'm using so far can handle running at 3 volts. And also everything can actually handle running at 2.8 volts. The flipping microcontroller can go down to like 2 volts, I think maybe even a bit less. The LCD can go down to, I think it was 2.5 volts? Or 2.2 volts, possibly? The amplifier is okay with 2 point something volts as well. The op-amps are okay with, I think, 2.2 volts minimum. So yeah, this is like, why am I trying to run at 3.3 volts? Nothing needs it. Why don't we then run at a lower voltage, and then we don't need as many batteries? So like, if we can run it with only 3 batteries, which should be like 3.6 volts, and regulate that down to 2.8, that gives us like quite a lot of headroom, right? Also, if we use a regulator that is able to handle like up to 6 volts, by the way, it's quite easy to find regulators that are like really, really efficient, that are okay with up to 6 volts. And then the ones that typically, when I'm saying really, really efficient, I'm meaning like 3 or 5 microamps of quiescent current. But then when you have ones that want to handle above that, it's a little harder to find. So like, but that's fine then, if we're only using 3 batteries. Imagine if we're using alkaline batteries then, and they're like really, really, really fully charged. Let's imagine that it's even higher than 1.6. And we do 1.7. 1.7 times 3, 5.1. It's still below 6 volts. So like, that should be fine, right? Out of curiosity, how high does the lithium ones go? What? Oh, okay, it is like right up around 1.7. So okay, so that'll be okay. I think the upper limit depends on the battery chemistry. Hi, Freefall, welcome. Sodium ion batteries are cool. I don't know about those. What kind of voltage are they? Am I gonna have a buck boost circuit then? No, what I was thinking of doing was using a low dropout voltage, LDO voltage regulator, because I only need very little current. And when I was looking at switching regulators, so like buck regulators basically, they take so much current for themselves that I don't think it would really be advantageous to use one. I didn't run extremely big calculations, but they're like the quiescent current of some of the buck regulators was like in the region of 200 microamps, which is like what the microcontroller itself is pulling already. So it's like, that's a lot of power. I know in the grand scheme of things in the universe, it's not a lot of power, but I'm trying to make something that can run on batteries for like months, you know, so. So yeah. So like the nice thing about a buck if I'm understanding things, I only learned a little bit about the so-called the LDO regulators, the low dropout ones, like really, really recently. Linear regulators in general, I guess I only just learned about more how they work really recently, or not really how they work internally, but the implications of using them. Solar panel would be cool. Not a solar capacitor by itself, a solar panel by itself. But maybe like a, you know, like those calculators where you can, where they have a solar panel and a built-in coin cell. That's still far too low power. They actually have coin cell batteries on here to show. There we are. If we're pulling 200 milliamps, that's this line. It's like... Wait, hang on. There we are. Time in days. A CR2032 battery. Oh wait, yeah, right. Milliamps, not microamps. That's true. Milliamps. That's true. There we are. So if we're putting 1 milliamp, let's assume 1 milliamp, which is a fairly safe average to assume, I think. Then it might last just shy of 10 days. But, yeah. I don't want to be popping coin cell batteries every week. Why am I choking myself? Let's keep the voltage high and low current. Yeah, they do. I mean, they're marked as 3 volts. So, yeah. When does it stop being a battery and become a capacitor? A capacitor has to work based on, like, plates, right? It's all just based on having effectively 2 plates close to each other, and there's, like, a charge that way. But, like, a battery is, like, chemical stuff, right? Battery, the energy comes from, like, chemicals. Whereas in a capacitor, I think it just comes from... It's just stored. It comes in from elsewhere, and then it's stored not in the form of, like, chemical stuff, but just, like, electrons sitting on a piece of metal, right? I think that's how it works. Hi, and then welcome. Welcome. Thank you for the pants. Hang on, I've been missing messages. As someone that has flown a lot of DIY FPV drones that run on LiPos that are basically not protected, the LiPo fires a very bad time. I'm sorry if you've had to experience one. That sounds scary. I still use my oldish phone. It has a headphone jack. And I know Skullcandy has a decent wired headphone with Nokia microphone. Nice. Interesting how the low ones have stair steps. Oh, yeah. These ones? It is really interesting. Like, something seems to change in, like, how the chemistry is working. By the way, the chemistry, the subject, I basically don't know anything about it. I am not into the chemistry itself, but hopefully I don't need to be. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows, but like, the thing with like a buck converter that can, so like a buck converter, so a switching regulator, I should say, a switching regulator is what I really mean. And a linear voltage regulator. The nice thing about a switching regulator is that if you have like a voltage that's far above what you want, so you're starting with 12 volts and you want 3 volts, for example, the nice thing is that you kind of get to reap the rewards of like a longer lasting battery, right? Assuming there's a 12-volt battery. Because you're sort of more concerned about the total power used, and like the power is the volts times the amps. So if the volts goes up, then the amps drawn from it goes down. So yeah, so it'll last longer than if you're drawing the same current at 12 volts. So like if you're drawing like 1 amp at 12 volts, then the battery is going to last less time than if you're drawing 1 amp at 3 volts. Right? Because it's 1 times 3 rather than 1 times 12. I accidentally made the maths a bit too simple. I didn't think that it would be 1 times. But like when you're using a linear regulator, I think what I've only just recently learned is that basically the amount of current that you're using at the load, so like what the Long Yook is going to use, whatever it uses in milliamps is going to get used the same number of milliamps from the load, even though the voltage is higher. And the extra like power is that's why the linear regulators get so hot. That's where they get hot from. So like if you're drawing 100 milliamps on the output of a linear regulator, then you're also taking 100 milliamps from the battery, even if the battery is 12 volts and then the output of the regulator is like 3 volts. That's actually a huge voltage difference in that case, and the regulator will get really hot. So you might think, well, then you could just use like a switching cheese. Hi, Balthazar. Hi, Talarian as well. Welcome. So then you could just use like a switching regulator, right? And that's more efficient, right? Because you're not burning it as heat, right? But the problem is, because I'm trying to make something that is so low power, like just running a switching regulator, like the regulator itself takes power. And like the ones I was looking at are like 175 microamps or so. So like that's an extra 175 milliamps. It's always being pulled from the batteries. So like what would be more efficient in my case, because I'm trying to take such little power, would be using a linear regulator instead, which itself only takes like single digit microamps, not 175, and then just trying to use like a battery voltage that is close to the target rather than far away, and that will minimize the amount that's being wasted as heat, right? That's my current beliefs about like regulators and stuff, and if I'm wrong, please teach me. The switching regulator doesn't lose it as heat, they lose it as EMI from the inductor. Okay, but they're not like, the thing is like the switching regulator is not pulling like an amp from the source if there's an amp at the output, right? That's the nice thing. Obviously they're not 100% efficient, but whereas a linear one is always going to be pulling the same from the source as is on the output, if I'm not mistaken. So in my case, using a voltage that's close to the target and then using a linear regulator, I'm believing that I would be losing less energy because the currents that I'm pulling are so small to begin with. Because think about it, if I'm using a linear regulator and I'm pulling 1 milliamp, then that's 1 milliamp. Actually, no, that 1 milliamp is kind of higher. Okay, let's think about it with the smaller numbers. If I'm just running the microcontroller, which is 200 milliamps, then that's like 200 milliamps being on the... Right, let me draw something. It's about time I whip out the paint here. Here's our regulator. Look at it. It's like, it's one of these things and it's only got like 3 pins. What is it? Slot 23 or something. Let's pretend this is ground. It doesn't really matter how you wire it, but whatever. For what I'm talking about. Anyway, if this is the input from the batteries, here's a battery. But there'll be a few of these. And it goes in, right? And the other side is like ground. Why can I not draw 3 lines in decreasing size? Why is it so difficult? It's hard than drawing a circle. What a perfect circle. What a perfect circle. Until she looked like a heart. And if I have a pet Long Yook over here, here's the pet Long Yook. There we are. That's the output, right? So we've got the going in, and we've got the coming out. If this is running at 200 milliamps, microamps, shit, was I saying milliamps? I meant 200 microamps, sorry, 200 microamps, sheesh. It's only 1,000 times less. Minor technicality. Anyway, then this is like pulling from this, the 200 milliamps. And if this is a linear regulator, then this is going to pull from the battery also 200 milliamps. Plus a small amount necessary to just make the linear regulator run, right? Because it's not magic and it itself needs a bit of energy to do work. And I'm seeing numbers like in the single digit microamps, so let's just assume 5. So that's 205 there, right? But if we were using a switching one, I need to draw it in like a different way. What does switching regulator look like? I don't know. Let's draw it in pink because I can. I swear to God. So this is a switching one. Swit. Swit. Oh, God, okay, whatever. Swit. Perfect. And we have a Long Yook over here as well. I just want to take this opportunity to draw another Long Yook in like silhouette form. This is like a stick man, but for Long Yooks. This is how you draw it. Okay, and it's got an output and an input, and there's probably some other components which I'm not gonna care about. If this is running at 200 milliamps, 200 is being pulled, then if the voltage from this here, if the battery, let's say the battery is like double the voltage that we need, right? Let's just, you know, for easy numbers, let's just pretend that this is 10 volts and this is 5 volts, okay? So it's like double. If this again is 10 volts and this is 5 volts, and assuming 100% efficiency here, which obviously is not a thing in real life, then this would be pulling half of this, right? This would be pulling 100. But this itself also takes power to run. And it takes a lot more power to run than this. And I've seen like numbers around 175 touted as like highly efficient. For these. So that will be 275 being drawn from the battery. So do you see what I mean? Like, in any case where you're like running a significant current here, absolutely this would be more efficient. Because this number here is going to grow hugely as you use more. Like if we were using like 100 times, right? And this number here would not change. So in this case, it would only be using like 10,175. Whereas this one will be using 20,005. So like if this were using loads of power, this one would be good. But because we're using such little power, I think this is like much more efficient. I guess the way to make this worthwhile would be if you wanted to load up with many batteries, right? To make this voltage much higher. And then like the amount drawn here with this number will become smaller. You'd still have this big offset as well, but you could have like a large capacity, right? Because you have many batteries. But you can't really do that with this unless you run the batteries in parallel.
Cheese.
Because if you put loads of batteries in series here, like you're still going to be drawing the same current. And you put the batteries in series here, you're not increasing the capacity, you're just increasing the voltage. And so all you'd be doing by adding a higher voltage here is this thing is basically going to set fire. Because it's of the amount of power it's having to burn to drop the voltage down to here, right? Hi Doohoo, welcome. Micro amps. Micro. These are all microamps. Let me take the opportunity to draw the line of the micro sign. You can improve the efficiency of a switching one by varying the capacities and inductors. Okay, true. Unless it's like one of these all built-in, all-in-one kind of things where you only need like a capacitor on the output to stabilize it and a capacitor on the input to remove noise. I have seen ones like that where it's just a fixed voltage output. They are kind of appealing. Just because, yay, easy, it just works. You just slap it on the board and you add the capacitor and to smooth, and the capacitor here to remove some noise, and bam! Just like magic, it's become 5 volts. But yeah. It only pulls when there's a load. Make the energy storage. By the way, this one also only pulls when there is a load. In the sense that if you were pulling 0 microamps there, the only thing you'd be pulling is this. You wouldn't be pulling this. And if there was no load on here, you'd be pulling this. It's quiescent current. So like, no load, this would for sure be more efficient, right? Am I crazy? Because the difference is that if you use a high voltage here, then the fact that it's a slightly higher number doesn't matter because you can have like way more capacity in terms of batteries there. Whereas here, well, I guess you could if you put them in parallel. But I'm wanting to get the voltage up over 1.5 volts, so I need to have some really elaborate battery compartment if I wanted to have some in series and some in parallel. I guess it's possible. Make the energy storage, in this case, capacitor inductor bigger and you can switch less often. I mean, I wasn't planning on making a regulator of my own. I don't feel like I'm that clever. For how long does it pull? The 200 microamps. Oh, hang on a second. Okay. Hi, Long Yook stick. Exactly. She's the stick. I have to add the little lines, the eyes. Wait, I didn't mean to do black eyes. That was... She's not evil. As we all know, red eyes only means evil. If that's what Hollywood has taught us. It also teaches us that they're killer robots. As are all robots. That's how redundant is that? Every robot in Hollywood is a killer robot. And except for like Wall-E or something. Ah!
Well, would you look at that? What a coincidence! Speaking of red eyes, look at these. Look at these nuts! Okay, sorry. I truly am evil. Hi, R1137. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Liquid Cake. Welcome, welcome.
Reader.
Oh!
Where's the picket? Thomas Becker.
Okay. She tried her best. Where is the packet? Hold on, I need to hydrate. I'm gonna hydrate. Hold up. Wait, I'm dropping things. I'm dropping things. They sound like huge things because of the
Evil redeem. Wait, I'm not evil anymore. Ah. Anyway, I don't know if I'm understanding these things correctly, then yay. If I'm not, then not yay. But like I feel like I'm on the right lines with using one like this, by the way, specifically LDO, meaning that even as the battery, it means that we don't need a high voltage, a much higher voltage than the target output. Because the voltage won't drop much as you get super close. Kind of a bit more. Sure, if I can. Oh god. What current and voltage does the Long Yook require? So, just when she's not speaking, it's currently somewhere around 500 microamps. When this might be subject to change depending on the frame rate that I end up going with, but right now it's around 500 microamps. and I'm just like rounding up to 1 milliamp as like a really worst case scenario, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. Like the LCD draws slightly more power and more pixels on, and there will be some more pixels on because there's a bunch of stuff I haven't drawn yet, but yeah. Looking at a data sheet? Well, I'd rather I'd measure it myself. Let's do it right now. Well, I'd have to disconnect the op-amp that I currently have connected, because that op-amp would not be connected normally either. That's just for audio. Where's the power going in? There it is. Round, please. Wait, no, I can't just remove those because they're powering the LCD. Hold on. Hold on. Can rig the mic over here as well. Okay, so this is powering the LCD. This is powering the op-amp. Okay. So yeah, by the way, I made a small op-amp circuit. I got my hands on some nice rail-to-rail op-amps recently. And I made like a small op-amp circuit to go between the Long Yook here. And then there's an op-amp. Here it is. Op. And then the output of it then goes to the same things that I had before, which is like a little transformer. There's actually like a resistor as well to avoid the current going to high. And on the output is a headphone jack. It's like and this goes off to my computer. And this here is to protect my computer from any high voltages, like from DC offsets, basically. And also to protect the Long Yook, or actually the microcontroller. Wait, this isn't the microcontroller. The Long Yook microcontroller. It's all one thing here. From like the moment that you plug in the headphones here, like this might temporarily short things, and I don't want to directly short the analog output of this. Although in this case I wouldn't be. I would just be shorting the output of the op-amp, but whatever. It's nice to use this to just give a little insurance, basically. Anyway, and it worked first time because it's like a normal proper op-amp that is rail-to-rail, and it just goddamn works! Anyway, it's so nice having rail-to-rail op-amps. Everything just works. The things that didn't work in the past seem to have not worked because I was using ones which are not rail-to-rail op-amps. And I was powering them from a low voltage. Okay, let me stick one multimeter probe. There. I really need to be careful when I remove this probe from the breadboard to make sure that I don't rip a load of wires out. Otherwise it really would be rip. Let's plug it in. It's currently pulling 282. Wait, why is it less? What do I disable? Oh! Wait, no, I didn't. Okay, right now, this exact moment is pulling 285, 284, 286, 287. It's like animating stuff in the LCD, so it's fluctuating. Now it's pulling... Why is it... Hang on a second, why is this changing so much? Oh, we weren't getting a proper connection. What the... Is this connection good? Is it going all over the place? Why was I seeing it jump up to like 500 there? It really is fluctuating a lot. It's between like 250 and 300 at this moment. I'm like wiggling wires to see why. It's not jumping anymore. It's a little concerning. Didn't see anything weird happening on the LCD, as if the thing was behaving weirdly, but maybe it was. Anyway, there you go. Let's call it 300 to be on the safe side. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is hacked. You got caught by the auto mod for a very interesting reason, because it misunderstood the German, literally the words the German that you typed. So holding my drink. It thought that you meant a person rather than the language. So it's like, it'll sound horrible,
Slaughter of the German.
but obviously I know that you mean the language. This is fine. Relax. Voice right now. Considering the low supply voltage and low current, and even lower voltage, the output efficiency goes into the dump. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Efficiency that I'm reading is saying that a switching regulator is 2 times more efficient than LDO. I don't really know what that means. I feel like that number must have been plucked out of thin air by the thing that you're reading, right? Because surely it totally depends on the voltages and the loads. Not to mention that like individual regulators are a little bit different as well. Yeah, there you go. That's the current voltage. When she's speaking, she'll be pulling. I would to err on the side of caution with how much current I'm needing to expect at drawing. I would say around 10 milliamps. But that's for like very short periods of time. Most of the time I'm seeing like around 5 milliamps as well for the speech. But as the speech at all is going to be for very small periods of time. Hold on. Deutsch posting continues until Yuki starts learning German. Scheiße. Everything I already read that. What if I threw a bucket of ice water on the end? Don't do it! Okay, so, anyway, all this is to say that I was thinking of running this, all these things, this at 2 volts, and this at what I guess would be like 3.6 volts nominal on a nickel metal hydrate batteries, and a little higher at first on the alkaline. Okay, so here's the thing. We need to stop. It will be time to stop when the voltage gets too low. Otherwise you risk damaging the batteries if they're rechargeable. And, well, probably if they're alkaline as well, but like, who cares, because you can't recharge them. There are chargers that claim that they can recharge alkalines like maybe 10 times, but they also say, I don't really recommend it because it might explode or leak, so wouldn't recommend it. I sent you an image on Discord of a schematic I stole from somewhere to run a wireless keyboard. Oh, okay, if you want a reference for LiPo. Okay. Yeah, technically you would... Oh no, you wouldn't. No, the regulator wouldn't be able to handle a high enough, such a high voltage. Yeah. I guess what you could do is, if you wanted to run it on a single 18650, you could like... You could use a single 18650 and then like 2 dummy batteries, like, which are not actually batteries, they're just like a straight wire. I don't know if that's a thing that exists. Because like a single 18650 battery would be a similar voltage to 3 NIMH batteries, right? This should just work. Although, if you did that, then what I'm about to say would not save the battery. Same as LiPo. Okay, yeah, so like 4.2 down to like 3 point something. Maybe 3.6 is on the low end then. Anyway, so we need to stop at some point, right? Let's switch over to NIMH. Not this, that's not NIMH, that's the odd one out. It's the weird lithium ones. Yeah, that sensor was kind of funny actually. Yes, we need to stop at some point. And the thing is, we don't want the voltage too high, otherwise we're going to be wasting a bunch of time, a bunch of capacity of the batteries, especially alkaline ones. We don't want it too low, or we're going to destroy the rechargeable ones after not much time. So this is the balancing act that I'm trying to think about. And it's hugely, massively dependent on the amount of current that I expect to be running at. As you can see here. Because the more current you're pulling from it, the more the voltage is going to sag, with an alkaline at least. It doesn't seem to so much with an IMH, at least not decent quality ones. I mean, I think of Duracell as a decent quality one as well, hashtag not sponsored, so. But that's alkaline, so it's just different chemistry. So yeah, if you're running like really light loads, this example here is 5 milliamps. So like maybe like what my thing will be pulling at near worst case when it's speaking. The voltage stays higher for longer, which is nice. So we should choose a higher voltage threshold also for the topper. So we should choose a higher voltage threshold here, right? Otherwise, if we choose like, because if you look here, if we want to stop around, yeah, no, wait, wait, that makes sense? Yeah, kind of. Because I feel like once you enter this region here where it's suddenly plummeting, like, so this is like a sudden plummet over here, right? This is a sudden plummet over here. And this is like a sudden plummet. Well, I'm guessing it sort of starts going down around there. Anyway, basically the entire voltage life of the battery tends to be higher. And so we need to put the threshold a bit higher. Is what I gathered. Also, I read a little bit about it. Also, hell yeah, it's my song! It's playing in the background right now. Anyway. I'm turning it up slightly. It's gonna be a little distracting actually. Nyalkaline. But hi, welcome Topper. Hi. We got Topper, TTH, and Trades. I'm really sorry. And Talarian. So many T names. I'm really sorry if I start misspeaking and saying the one you said a thing when you didn't, when like responding to the wrong person. Hi Sleepy, welcome. How are you doing? Hi. Anyway, TLDR, I think I settled on the voltage around 1.1 volts. Because you can see this is starting to get into the region where it's going down quite a bit. I don't really want to go much lower than that because, thank you for the posture check, because, look at this. Because 1.1 volts for an NIMH battery is like way down here. Like we've started to plummet and look how quick it plummets, you know? If we wait until like 1 volt, we're like already like way in this danger zone of like almost depleting suddenly, right? Because like it would only take a small bit more usage for the voltage to just go up, which I don't want to do. Yeah. And the problem is, if someone the thing that throws a wrench into all these works, the thing anyway, is I spoke in English, is when you look at these weird ass lithium ones. That's triple A. It's double A. Look at this. The voltage is just higher the whole time. Look. If I were to look at this, I would say I probably want to cut off around, like, maybe, like, around here? Which is 1.4 volts! I can't do that! If I cut off at 1.4 volts, even an alkaline would cut off after like here. And wouldn't an NMH even run? An NMH would be like, it'd be like nothing. Sounds like it's a manufacturing inconsistency in the lithium production. This is just how the lithium batteries are. Like, these are like a relatively new thing. It's like, these never existed until very recently. The voltage is like kind of higher. So if I were to set the 1.1 voltage threshold for stopping, it's like we're like already almost like in free fall with how it's like plummeting at this moment. Would this like damage it? Probably, right? I don't know why I didn't run a load at like a really light load. I don't know why they only go down to 100 milliamps there, where sometimes they were, oh wait, it's 10 milliamps. Where sometimes they were going down to 5, but... You're in the blue line. Oh, this! Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? That is weird. It could also have been like, things changing in the environment where they were testing it. Like temperature. So yeah. I assume you want to leave some charge and not completely drain it. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, not sponsored by Energizer, not sponsored by Duracell, not sponsored by Panasonic here. Not sponsored by any of these companies. Not sponsored by Eneloop. Not sponsored by Laser? I don't know how you pronounce these even. Not sponsored by Kodak. If they still exist. Whoa! Coding! Hi! Welcome! We in this mother lover? Wait, that sounds kind of wholesome. Hi! Welcome. How are you doing? Welcome in, everybody. How was stream? A stranger sent me. Wait, you're a stranger to yourself? Hi there, welcome. Shout out. Coding with strangers. How was stream? What did you get up to? Let's find out. Pulling it out of the Twitch API. Aww. Is this a new avatar? Welcome. Could you imagine coding for money? No. I couldn't. For some reason I haven't seen an avatar before, but it's really cute. I don't know why I haven't. Anyway, how'd it go? It is a summertime avatar. Ah. Yeah, so actually to answer your question, which wasn't really a question, it was your stream title. That's partially why I'm a little bit scared to do programming. It's not because I'm scared of money. Let that be known. If anyone was, yeah. But the thing that worries me is that I'm scared that, you know, companies with suddenly changing goals and suddenly shrinking deadlines and stuff will make me start to strongly dislike the programming, which is like a hobby, and then I won't really have a hobby left anymore. Well, there'll be music, I guess, but I don't make music super often. But I hope you had fun. Anyway, there we are. That's the only way in which I've imagined coding for money so far. Maybe I should imagine it in a slightly better light. My goal was to get a job in tech. Thus, I am here. But you are right. Am I? I hope you'll... I'd rather not be for, like, the sake of other people, like yourself. I want you to be not enjoying it. I associate this music that's playing right now with me starting stream. It's funny hearing it playing 1 hour in. What about your hobbies of playing Cyber Yook and Distance? Oh, I kind of want to replay Cyberhook now. Oh, what a satisfying game. Except for like, maybe 5 of the levels.
Out of dozens. What is evil? I was just evil a moment ago. Why am I evil again? What is happening? What is making me evil? Sorry. Sorry about the evil sniff. Wait, is the Ender Loop one is like... Oh, that's AAA, never mind. Yeah, so 1.1 here is maybe a bit low, but like... Oh man, I don't know. I was already evil earlier. I was. And now I am evil again. What is it that makes me evil? Who knows? I just
Turn sometimes. Oh, sorry, let me get away from the mic. I just turn sometimes. Anyway. Ah! Holy Yook. So what I'd probably do is have the thingy like checker, like every now and then read the voltage on a pin, because this does have analog to digital converters, so I can read a voltage. Oh yeah, right. Hello, sorry, hi, welcome in everybody. If nobody knows who I am, I'm a weird cat. Now you know who I am. You probably could already tell that from like the last 1 or 2 minutes of watching the stream. Sorry, I'm having to blow my nose. I think the injection I had to help with hay fever is wearing off. Man, it lasted longer this time though. Also, the most awful part is, I think, over question mark. I'm gonna regret saying that in the future. So yeah, I'm looking into like how the voltages of different types of batteries as they run out, so that I can plan like how to be powering this little project that I'm working on, and how to make it stop running when the battery gets too low to avoid destroying rechargeable batteries. And yeah, so it'd read the voltage, and it can only read up to, I think it's only safe to use it with up to the power that is, the voltage that it's running on. It might only be safe to use it with up to less than that. In any case, we can just use the voltage divider to get it down into range. And we wouldn't want that voltage divider constantly connected in the circuit, because that would be draining power a bunch all the time, just by having a voltage divider running. You're just running power through resistors all the time. So that could be switched with a capacitor, and just it turns it on for a moment, reads it, and turns it off, and then like maybe, I don't know, sometime later, maybe like half a minute later or something, it does it again. Maybe a minute, like we don't need to be checking that off. If it's meant to last for months, if we're going to do it, if it's meant to be lasting for months, we probably don't need to be checking multiple times a minute. Anyway, let me play this again, sorry.
Skip forward 3 years. Yuki is running a very successful company that invented a new type of battery.
No, definitely not. That's far too much chemistry. I don't think I'm going to be able to be doing chemistry like that. I did a bit of cleanup on this though, to get into the Cody side. Don't look there, I didn't clean that bit. And also a bit of more testing and stuff. Look at this. I did not make this interesting macro that was created by Halvard Furuseth. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's on that like famous bits and byte manipulation page, wherever the hell that was. Hold on. Bit twiddling hacks, yeah, this one. So this page, if anyone is interested, which is there's a lot of fun things in here. It's not really that fun until you actually want to do it, I guess. But yeah, so this here is shortcut to oh no, it's not just backwards. is shortcut to basically 0, instead of this being 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 255. It is a bit inverted version of 0 and a bit inverted version of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and... Oh, sorry, no, not bit inverted. Not bit inverted, bit reversed version. So here, the rightmost bit is 1, but this makes the leftmost bit become 1. And this, the rightmost 2 bits are 1, but in the lookup table, the leftmost 2 bits will be 1. Anyway, and that's this macro just populates a 256 byte array that has the bits reversed like that, which is actual black magic, but I'm using that because I don't have... I don't be spelling out explicitly 256 values for this. Bit flipping tastic. Yeah, there you go, you get it. Hi, Akakaze, welcome. Hi! And I'm just using this now to reverse the bits, which is a step in reading the voice data, which increased the speed a bit over calculating in real time. We have enough RAM to spare 256 bytes on the lookup table, so and it speeds it up. So why the hell not? 127 64 32 16 8 42 1 0 continues and opens a black hole by accident. No! Don't flip my tids. Not the tids, the bids. So I was thinking of I would like to make a system where so when I plug this in right now, you hear it like a long hard-coded voice thingy. It's actually this long line, which when I click on makes this start like lagging a bunch. More than I remember. Okay, there it's trying its best. Anyway, this is a really long thing. It goes on for a while. A little while. Look at the scroll bar on the bottom. Yeah, so it's kind of long, and this is just like the whole speech that she says about Snail 2, which was from a cut-off version of Yook Snail 2, and then slow you go, and then slow nyan 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 nyan. Those lines. If I plug it in right now and I unmute something, you'll be able to hear it live being piped right into the computer due to this little thing that I was explaining earlier. Plugging it in now, and oh wait, I think I have to recompile. Oh no, I recompiled it without the voice actually. And if I unmute now the inputs, listen to what it sounds like. Oh, right, hang on, I also unplugged the op-amp. Whoops, let me plug that back in. I unplugged that when I was measuring the power consumption. Okay, now it sounds like this. Listen to that. And as I get my hand closer, let me move over here so you can see it. How do I... Ah, there we are. It's like a theremin. So the clicky sound is interference from it drawing every frame. That's like the frame rate as it's drawing the LCD. And yeah, it's picking up interference like this because this is just like AC power line interference, because the output of the STM32, where the audio will be coming out from the DAC, that pin is not initialized to be using the DAC at the moment. To save power, the DAC is turned off and the pin is floating. So yeah, this happens, which won't be a problem in the actual Long Yook, because Pet Long Yook, because well, the amplifier is going to be turned off when it's not speaking to save power. But right now the amplifier is just being constantly powered, or the op amp in this case is being constantly powered because it is. I haven't made a circuit to switch it on and off. Might be a bad idea to do that at some point, because I will be needing to switch on and off the amplifier. Oh, although it'll work a different way, because I think the amplifier has a dedicated shutdown pin. Okay, I'm muting this now. Actually, I'm not going to mute it. I'm just going to recompile it with this line that makes it say over and over that line of speech. Oh, this note can go away now because Talkie does not handle changing CPU speeds and it's enabling disabling back. Okay, so in a moment you should hear it speaking once it's uploaded. There it is! It's kind of loud. Let me turn it down. So this sound... Helicopter in the distance? Yeah. Okay, so that sound is like a really long one. Eventually, I plan to have many short individual sounds that it can stitch together into a let me go back over here, into like a sentence. So for that, I want to implement a queuing system. I want to, at like any moment, I might know that I want her to start saying, for example, slow you go, right? And at that moment, she would add 4 things into a queue immediately and start speaking. And then it will start speaking the first thing when it's starting to move into the second one, the third, and the fourth. Hey!
Cheese.
Why? Hi, Psychic. And, thank you for the iteration. I will do that in a sec. And I want, also to be able to specify not just what sound is going to play, but a pitch offset for it. Because you can kind of get that for free, like apart from the fact that you'll need to do like a, I guess, a little bounds check that you're not going to try to make the pitch go so low or so high that you'd be trying to reference a value in an array that's out of bounds. But aside from that, because the speech is just so highly compressed, it's already, the pitch is already part of the data. It's basically just resynthesizing it. And you could just tell it, you could just override that pitch variable to something else. You could just add a value to it constantly. So I would like to do this so that we can get some variation in the individual words. That'd be kind of fun. Also, to be able to, I want there to be, as part of the ever increasing scope creep, I want there to be like a kind of a like a music makery kind of thing where you can just make music with her. I did a whole stream about the fact that I thought it'd be cool if you could just hum a tune to her and then she hums it back. But yeah. And then in that same way, that's how we'd get the different pitches. Like we might just be saying the same nyan sound over and over, but at many different pitches. And that's how, and she just sings along while nyanning. Sorry. Bottle mic. Yeah. Yo! Sorry. Hold on. There you go. And Yan for the Ericsson. Also, hi! There you go. Also serves as a hi to the Ericsson. So yeah, I thought that'd be pretty cool. Oh yeah. As far as the, her being able to hear the pitches that you're doing, ignoring the fact that the pitch detection itself is hard, as we discovered on a previous stream. As far as the hardware goes, not hard as in difficult, but hard as opposed to software, I did also try making some circuits to amplify sound with the op amps, and I tried using those different 3 speakers that I showed off how they sounded. We tested that on the stream. I tried using them as microphones, so just in reverse. So I wanted to see how bad it would sound. Looking for a photo. I don't have, oh yeah, I guess this is the only photo I have for now. Yeah, these 3 different speakers. And I recorded them. So if you'd like to know how it sounds, I am gonna download the sounds, because apparently all I ever do is share things on Discord and then not save them locally. Where the hell did I put them? Was it in nerd chat? I thought it was in creative and dev. Is it in nerd chat? Where did I put them? Oh, hang on. I might have been when I was in the voice channel. Did I put them in this channel? Sorry, I'm just like attempting to navigate my own goddamn Discord right now. Found them. Okay. So wait, why are there only 2? Wait, why are there only 2? Or did I save them? Did I save them after all? Did I save them? Oh my god, sorry about this. I'm trying to find them. Captures? Ah, here it is. Wait, it's an Audacity project? I still have the Audacity project. Oh, there it is. Okay, we got it on Audacity. Interesting. I thought I saved them out of sounds. I think I might just have been sharing the live sound in the voice chat on Discord. Exclamation mark socials if you're interested in that. Anyway. Also, I think they still have their mouse mats in stock on the merch store. I don't remember seeing a notification that they're out of stock. So that's nice. So, this one's the big speaker, the medium speaker, and the small speaker. And these were recorded using the oscilloscope. So the quality is not great because it's 8-bit audio. But it's also not great because look at all that background noise. They pick up interference a lot. This will not be as much of a problem when it's running on batteries, I think. I think the problem is that it's running on like a power supply that's derived from the mains. But anyway, I don't even know how feasible this is. But yeah, this is like, I think 2 or 3 op amps chained together to get the amplification high enough. Each stage being, I think it was like 20 times. So yeah, this is like a lot of boosting. These are really quiet. Anyway, if you're curious about how they sound, so am I, because I've forgotten. Here's what the big speaker sounded like. This one's the best, and this one was less good, and this one was less good. And the reason they were mostly less good is because, I think it's because like the diaphragm is smaller. So it doesn't catch as much of my voice, and I had to get really close. Also, I was doing this at night time, so I had to be like whispering, but anyway.
Hi, this is, Yan. I'm talking to a speaker, blah, 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 stuff, bye.
I'm really sorry if people are trying to sleep. I didn't mean to go into your ear. I did that time. And that time. The medium one sounds like this.
Blah, 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 testing. This one is the, biggest speaker. Okay, blah, 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 bye, bye.
Wait, what? Why have I labeled? What? Why did I label this big then? If I'm saying that this is the biggest speaker in the audio, huh? Wait, which do I believe? Do I believe the past Yook who spoke?
Biggest speaker. Okay, blah, blah, blah.
Or do I believe the past Yook who wrote the word big? What the fuck? Okay, hold on.
I'm talking to a speaker. Blah, 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 blah. Biggest speaker. Okay.
I mean, this one sounds like it has a lower resonance rate, so it does make sense that this one would be the bigger one.
I'm talking.
I'm gonna believe that Yuki was speaking because she was like right there and then looking at it. Maybe I labeled them afterwards. Oh my god! All right, let's rename them. I'm fixing my mistakes live. Amazing. Anyway, and here's what the small one sounded like.
Hi, this is the tiniest microphone.
It's so quiet.
Okay, bye.
So much noise there because it was so quiet. Anyway, yeah, I definitely wouldn't use that. This one is definitely nice for,
Is the
you know, being able to hear the pitch a bit better because it's not as muffled. This one is more muffled. Sorry, less tinny, like less high passed.
I'm talking to a speaker. Blah, 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 blah.
There's a part where I'm actually using my voice.
Hi, this is Yan.
It's so high passed sounding, isn't it? Man, trying to do pitch detection on that. That man, I'm not actually trying to right now. seeing if I can see a difference. So much noise. Let's adjust these spectrogram settings. Let's reduce the range. Really? Still? Okay, let's reduce the range a lot more, I guess. It's awkward without the music, I'm sorry. Like this bottom one does look faint. There's still so much background noise. How low do I need to get this? Okay, this might be too far. I don't know. Yeah, these look kind of faint down here, whereas this one is not as faint. And I guess this one is going to be ridiculously faint. I can barely even see them here. These lines. Yeah, this one suddenly sounds better. Obviously, we're not trying to make, like, recordings and play them back and have them sound good. So as long as it's good enough for pitch detection, then that's good enough for the project, I guess. But it doesn't... I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. We could always just use a goddamn mic and stop trying to reuse the speaker. But anyway. There you go. That's pretty much everybody caught up on the stuff that I was doing off stream. Has it been one of those streams? I guess it's been one of those streams where I do nothing except for like scribble a few lines on paint, I guess, and say things. And uncomment this and recompile it. And delete this comment. There we are. Ah, man. Also, I'm going to have to be quiet now because people are coming to bed. Maybe we go into quiet mode. I don't know if I'm going to end yet. Probably should. I should, actually. Yeah, you know what? I should. I actually should. But it would also be cool to adjust this and be able to hear the pitch changing. You know what? I'm not going to implement a system for cueing sounds with different pitches. What I'll quickly do is I'll just hard code the pitch right now. Let's pretend... Yeah, let's just hard code the pitch. What we'll do is we'll pretend that the pitch we read, so the target pitch, or period, is... So we're reading it from a value from this array. This is like the period, the gap in samples between each thing. It's not quite, it's like this shifted left 10, but whatever. So let's just, instead of reading the value, well, we do still need to read the value, otherwise we'll get a very funny sound. Instead of that, we'll just hard code this to be some value, like 20. I don't know. This ranges from 0 to 40, I think. So 20 will be right in the middle. Probably much lower pitch than Long Yook's voices. Okay, this is probably going to be a deep Long Yook. Plug it in, and you'll hear her speaking at first, and then we got to upload it. Magic numbers, my only love. This is just part of the protocol, so we've got to read this many bits. Anyway, let's see. Ah, I got to unmute. That doesn't sound right. I really hope that it's not just skipping this line because it sees that it's not being used anywhere. I sure hope that's not happening. Wait, why is... So this is the kind of nonsense I was expecting. So it is a constant pitch, as you can hear. But it's also having issues... Oh god, it's clipping my own sound interface, I just noticed. Okay. So it's no longer clipping the sound interface. Okay. Why is it like getting desynced with the data stream just because I'm overriding this? That makes no sense. Why would that happen? Is it just not doing this? Is it actually not doing that? How can we force it to do this? I guess we could like define a variable as volatile. Wait, we can't really define it in there. That doesn't make sense, does it? Not used equals this. And I'll just define this to be a volatile thingy. It's probably a better way of doing this, and this probably isn't the problem anyway, but let's find out. Volatile, amazing. Volatile, hang on. I have to go into quiet mode, so let me just adjust some things. That one. That one. And that one. I'm now officially in quiet mode. Wait, what's this problem? U8 is not a type name. Oh, now it is since I clicked the line. Okay, no, thanks. Let's see if this fixes it. If it does, this is very, very, very silly. It does not. Interesting. Huh. What is that? ASMR cackle codes a long pixelated uke while our PC speakers complain. Is it literally that? It was. Did this fix it, or did I break it in some other way? Hang on, it's uploading. Okay. I'm not understanding why. What the fuck? This is very weird. Thank you for the pads, folks.
Please.
Why? Look. Oh, they're actually 64. It's 0x40, so there are loads. You look worried here? Have some more head pads? I am a little concerned about this, actually. Thank you for the pads. Where did your cheese go? There it is. There it is. There it is. It's just a little underneath. It's just a little underneath my hair. It's buried deep in there. Hi, Colmacil. Welcome, welcome. Oh, that's what you get for throwing cheese at me. What you get is scammed, apparently. Alright, I'm not understanding this at all. I really don't get... Hold on. I really don't get this. I really don't get this. No, I'm gonna have to experiment this off stream, I think. I think there's something going on with volatileness. What am I trying to do? Just make the pitch not change. I know what I could do. I could just override it elsewhere. Let's override it where it's used instead of where it's set. It'll still involve... It'll also require me to fix that later on, but that's future Uke's problem, not present Uke's problem. Crisis period. Where is the period stuff being used? Oh, I guess this isn't. This is override this. Yeah, sure, let's just override it right here. What a ridiculous thing this is to... It's weird to put this in here, but okay. Actually, it does make some more sense to do it here. Wait! Oh, I think I'm really fucking stupid. I know what the problem was. The variable that we are overriding gets checked later on, doesn't it? The thing we're changing has consequences. Oh my fucking god, it's literally right here. It's literally right there. Because we're changing this, we're affecting how many things we're reading. Okay, yeah, this is I'm very silly. What I should actually be doing is overriding it here instead. Okay, I fixed it. Fixed it. Let's give it a higher pitch because 20 was kind of low. Let's make it 15 instead. This is debug test for overriding pitch. We could also add a value to it to just offset it, which is what I plan to do in the end, to preserve any slight changes in the nyan that I record. So now it should just be a constant pitch. There you go. Oh, that's less painfully harsh now as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. Should we see what the ultimately lowest pitch sound is? It's 0x40, right? It's the length of the array, so this -1. Let's see what super deep Long Yook sounds like. Okay, it's recompiling. Turn the volume off a bit. Oh wow! My ears are painful. My ears are slightly in pain. This transformer that I'm using to protect things seems to be like high passing it kind of. It's a bit suboptimal.
Nah, it's not in pain. It's just an evil Long Yook. But she still meows, just like me when I'm evil. And yet, do you see what I mean? Anyway, I guess I could just forego the transformer and connect it straight from the op-amp to my sound card via a capacitor to block DC. We can do that. Should I do that now? I think I'm gonna do it now. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna unplug the power. Let's see.
Let's see. So the moment the sound card is connected to the output of this transformer, the input is... Wait, which one's the input? This one's the input. And the other side is ground. So we just need this input to go via a capacitor to the thingy. And I'll take out the transformer. It's kind of tricky to put this transformer back in because the pins are like hidden underneath it and it's difficult to align it correctly so that they're going into the correct holes in the breadboard. Okay, it's out. Now I just need a capacitor. I feel like 1 microfarad will probably do. We don't need a resistor as well, else this is just gonna... Yeah, this is gonna saturate eventually. This is not... I need something to discharge the capacitor. Okay, hang on. Let me look up the formula thingy for an RC high-pass filter. By the way, I bought some inductors recently. I never had inductors before as part of my, like, you know, collection of electronic components. I've always had resistors and capacitors. Relatively recently, I also got low value ceramic capacitors. And super recently, like within like the last week or two, when I bought the speakers, to make the shipping from LCSC more worth it, I also bought a bunch of inductors. So now I actually could make an LC filter, a filter using inductors and capacitors, rather than just an RC filter, which is a filter using resistors and capacitors. Calculate, yes, that's how you spell calculate. Yes, let's use this. Inductors are scary? Are they? Oh, I guess, yeah, you could make like a high voltage pulses, couldn't you? Yeah, whereas the sparks you can get from a capacitor are typically low voltage, right? Just high current. I guess the ones you get from an inductor are high voltage and low current. Anyway, let's say we want to high pass it at like 10 hertz. And right here I have a 1 microfarad capacitor, 1U. What resistor do I need to use from my symbol series? Okay, so if I were to use a 15 kilo ohm, my cutoff filter would be 10 hertz. This is such a useful page. This is such a useful page. Okay. Well, where are we? There it is. What do I have? I've got 6k, I've got 10k, and I've got 20k. I have no 15ks. So, let's try it the other way around. If I were to use a 20k resistor, 20k with a 1U, will my cutoff be 7 hertz? I guess a little bit stupidly low in my opinion. We're not trying to make something that can do sub bass. So I guess 10k would be the safer way to go. 15 hertz, yeah, let's do that. I've hardly got any 10k resistors left. In this drawer, I think I have some more also ordered to pad out the price of an LCSC order so that I don't have to pay the extra handling fee. Okay, let's just see what these ones that I have on the desk, which I've not put away yet. Let's see what they are. Are either of these 10k? This one is 470. This one is 1 or 100. I should say 100 ohms. Okay, yeah, neither of those. Neither of those. 10k. Fun fact, 100 is not 10,000. Did you know that? Did you? Fun fact, 100 is not 10,000. Okay, here's one. Let me just snip the thingy, the sticky bits of the legs off. Hold on, what is my streaming category right now? It just occurred to me. But did I put on just chatting? Oh god, why does it take so long to load? This is on high performance on my computer right now. Okay, it is on nothing. What the fuck? Is that legal? Am I gonna get destroyed? Software and game development, sure. Right, 10k it is. Let me snip it off from these. Free it from the shackles of these strips of paper. I don't want to just pull it out because the ends are going to be like sticky where it was being held in. So. Also, it'd be like it's on stilts because of how long its legs would be. Okay, so wait, this is low pass. Shit, this is low pass. I need high pass. I mean, high pass is going to be the same just with capacitor and resistor switched, isn't it? Let's double check. Let's actually use the correct goddamn page. Filters, high pass, 10k. Yeah, they're just swapped. 10k and 1 microfarad. I assume would still be 15. Yes. Okay, nice. I have a script that swaps my browser between 2 places, here and clunk. When I nod off, it swaps back and forth. How does it know that you're nodding off? Or did you just time it? You know that you nod off after like 10 minutes, so you set the timer to 10. Okay, let's put this capacitor in here. This goes between the signal and the output. Okay. Sorry, this breadboard is very full. I'm just trying to... Oh, it's not even that full. It's just a mess. These capacitor legs are too close. Open up. Oh my god, I can't get in the right hole. Ah. Get in. Okay, it's in. Holy crap. Eye detection, really? Wow. Are you using like a Tobii eye tracker, or is it just like a media pipe or something with a webcam? Interesting. Okay, and then we need this resistor between there and ground. Oh my god. In before the resistor that was already on the board that I was using with the transformer was the 10k resistor that I want after all, and I can just reuse it. Ah, alas, alias. It is only 1k. Oh, I exited paint! What an idiot. I was about to swap over to paint to explain what the resistor that I'm talking about. But I closed it. Why did I do that? Long Yook, please. She's coming to bite me today, isn't she? The sound of me moving things and also almost snapping pins. Oh my god. Nope, I did. I snapped a pin. God damn it. Whoops. Rip this cable in particular. That's gonna have to go away. Okay, then this one... Oh, I need another cable, hold on. I mean wire. I broke one of the jumper wires. I was plugging it in and then the pin snapped. So I mean, it like bent and then I tried to bend it back and snapped. I'd much rather it snaps in my fingers than inside the breadboard. Why am I so wide? Webcam via beam eye tracker. I've not heard of beam eye tracker. Unit detection gives it a +1 with a modifier of 3 to change states.
Lactose-filled dairy
I
product.
don't know what that means, I'm afraid. Why? It's because I broke the wire? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Jeez. Right, another wire. Another wire. This one will do. I'll use black because it is ground. Call me old-fashioned. The other side goes here. Why does this pin already look a little bent? I've never used this in my life. Okay. Double check the schematic now. The resistor is going from ground to the input. Ah, that's not right. The resistor's on the wrong side. Oh, okay, it's on the wrong side. Let's move that over. Much easier said than done. Oh, that came out of here, I think. There are wires starting to fall off things. This is not boding very well. Especially not when I'm modifying something that's designed to protect things. I guess we don't need this anymore. Just plug it in over here directly. And then... resistor goes there. Okay, there we are. So we have this resistor between the output and ground, and then the capacitor between the output and the input. Yeah, I think that's worked. So we should now hit the Long Yook without the unintentional, very high passing effect of the transformer that I was using. Now it's just this. There is a high pass filter, but it's like very, very low pitch just to remove the DC. Let's see if it works, I guess. I should probably check it on the oscilloscope before I go plugging it into my computer. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that first before I destroy my sound interface. This is maybe a slight exaggeration of what happened, but... what happens if I accidentally short this as well? When I'm plugging it in, if the pins get shorted, this attaches to ground. So there's still no current limiting really. I should probably add a resistor here. Just so that if this gets shorted, it's going to go through that resistor. Let's do that. Let's do that. I can reuse the resistor that was being used before. The 1K one. Okay, there we are. Alright, let's get a view of the oscilloscope up. See if it works first time. I did not. To nobody's surprise. Let's refresh. Does that make it work? Nope. Let's try unplugging the cable back in. Does that make it work? Yes. Wait, why don't I see it on the screen? Hold on. Yeah, I'm struggling in OBS now because this should be visible. Oscilloscope split. Oh, wait, no. There it is. But I don't see it. Oh, I'm cropping it. Okay, hold on. Let me just reset this. Boop. There it is. Nice. I swear I know how to stream. Let me grab a probe. Let's connect this probe. F-Ball, hi! Welcome, welcome. How are you pulling? That sounds a bit too close to appalling. That's not good. That's not what I meant. Turn this one on. That one off. We're using this port today because it's pink. Okay, let's ground the probe. This probe is a very strong crocodile clip. What the fuck? Why is it so hard to squeeze? Okay, there we go. Thank you for the pads. OG pull. Yeah. Okay. We're now probing. Let's turn off the measurement, turn off the cursors, make sure it's set to DC coupling so we can see if it's AC or not. Adjust my noise removal slightly to make the sound of the scope fan slightly less annoying, possibly. Hopefully, maybe, possibly, potentially. Hydrate a bit more. Ouch! God, let me cut off these sharp parts while I have my clipper things out. Oh, now there are still sharp things on the bottle, but they're smaller, so they're harder to tell. Amazing. harder to tell that they're there is what I meant to say. Alright, let's plug it in. We will not hear it. We should see it on the oscilloscope. Alright, let me just put that back in the roll and zoom my back end in. Okay. Press release the button to make it actually start doing things. Ooh, that's not removed the offset, has it? That is very much DC still. Oh, I'm being a fucking idiot. I'm measuring on the input, not the output of the filter. Yeah, okay, there we are. That's the output. Nice, it is removing it. Right, let's restart this. When I unplug it, we should see like it goes like a negative pulse. There it is. Let's zoom in a bit. Is this slow enough or fast enough updating for you to be able to see? So when it starts speaking, we should see like an upwards pulse. Oh, we see a bunch. When I unplug it, we should see a downwards pulse. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird pulse. Thank you very much for the follow, Kankaiji. Yeah, Kankaiji. Hi, hi. Kankai. Kankaiji. I don't know what that means. C++? It is. I don't really like the ++iness though. I'm doing what a friend calls C flavored C++. And this is technically a class. By the way, most of this class was not written by me. I'm just heavily modifying it. But yeah, hello. Hi. See, there's the pulse at the beginning. Let me try and unplug the USB more decisively this time. It got stuck when I was trying to pull it out. Unfortunate. Weird. Okay. Anyway, yeah, the filter's working, so I'm going to connect it to my sound interface now that I'm less scared of destroying it. It's plugged in. It's not quite plugged in. Okay, it's now plugged in. And look at that. Look at the interference that the probe is seeing. But hopefully, when this is connected, it goes away when it's outputting. No, it's still there. Okay, it looks like we're going to be hearing a load of interference. Well, let's start listening, I guess. Oh, it's muted. Oh, it still sounds like it's been high pass. Really, really high. Okay, let me unplug. Wait, why are we... The scope is picking up loads of interference, but my sound interface is not. Is it being noise gated on my computer? Also. For the decks. Filters. There is no noise gate. You know, let me just record raw and have a look. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is recording from the live input. That is... Oh, you can't see anything. Hold on. That is a very low amount of noise. I'm surprised it looks so high on the oscilloscope. Interesting. If we, yeah, I'm not seeing it. Is it just being picked up by, like, the leads? Yeah, I'm not seeing the interference that the oscilloscope's seeing at all. Might be above audio frequency. Yeah, it's actually true. That is actually true. Let's take a close look at the interference and see how high pitched it is. High use though, also high def fault. Hold on, let me turn this back on. Ah, there we are. That is very true. Let's take a close look at this. Okay, so it's coming in bursts of a very high frequency. Where's my threshold? That's all the way down there. Oh, it's showing nonsense values right now, but wait. We're also on the wrong channel. There we are. So this is going to be the flipping interference from my LED strips again, isn't it? Or whatever. This is extremely high frequency. Oh, I mean, each thing is pulsing, and then those things are pulsing, and then those things are pulsing. This is pulsing upon pulsing. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's probably just really high pitched. I can turn on the frequency measurement, but I'm not sure what it's going to measure. I don't know if it's going to measure these pulses or like the big ones or what. Let's just turn it on and see what random number it says. Clear these ones and set up a measurement on the correct channel, whereas frec is all the way down there. It's not even giving a measurement. I don't think it's actually uses the threshold. If I zoom in more. It's actually not giving us a measurement. Trying to zoom in a bit. Yeah, I do. Okay, yeah, it's not. It's not really sure what to make of that measurement either. I'm seeing numbers in the hundreds of kilohertz though, yeah, so that's very high. Okay, so the zoom out is more likely to measure the lower pitched ones. The sample rate is still 10 mega samples a second though, so yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, it's not showing up on the recording, which is nice, and as long as it doesn't affect the, you know, the thingy, the what am I trying to say, man? As long as it doesn't affect the speaker on the actual circuit eventually, then that'll be fine too. I'm a bit bummed that it doesn't sound really deep. This. But yeah, maybe I should just put the transformer back then, just for the extra safety, since it's not sounding any better. I'm going to put the transformer back, just for safety. We tested it without that. I thought it was the transformer adding like a high passing effect. But I guess it's just how it sounds. Oh, hang on. I must give pads. Wait, where's my ABS? There it is. Dun, dun. Pads for the acetone. Just be pulsing. Yeah, do you want to see something even more wild? Watch this. Let me put the probe back on. Look at this. Here's how it looks. I'm gonna turn off my LED lighting. Yep. And I turn it back on. It takes a moment to appear because the power supply is preparing itself. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that ridiculous? Anyway. I don't know. It's just a load of interference from the LED lighting and power supply. I've got my pants so I can go to bed now. Have a nice sleep, Pasadena. Aww. What is that character? What is that character? Oh, it's a bed! Have a nice sleep. It's also been covered by the oscilloscope, apparently. I didn't get rid of that. Coming in bursts of high frequency, you say. Oh my. That sounds fun. Okay, let's plug everything back in. Man. Horse.jpt. Let's try and get this connected correctly. Oh wait, there's another resistor I haven't removed yet. Hold on. Ouch. Yeah. Sorry, I'm bending down to get these things plugged in. And there, and there. Those pins are correct. And there and there. Are they going in? Thank you for saving the kidneys. I will do that in a moment. I appear to have lost a wire. It's very mysterious. Oh, there it is. I'm blind. Okay, that is there. This one. Is there? The other side goes. There. Okay. This should be back to how it was before. But let's just see. Bring it in. That's a good sign. Okay, nice. Is that how it sounded before? I guess it is. Let me just probe the output of the transformer for curiosity. Oh god. I'm poking things and making it reset. You can barely even see the audio of all of the... Oh, you can't see anything actually because it's not on the screen. You can barely even see the audio among all of that nonsense. Forget to roll and zoom out. Oh, that's insane, man. Why is it so quiet? Why is it so... Let me unplug the audio. Maybe you can see it there. Okay, whatever. The output of the transformer looks weird on the script. But who really cares because it's working. Okay. I'm about to go and save the kidneys. Right after I try one more thing. Actually, I think there's only one tiny thing I want to test, which is adding an offset to this. And once I've done this, I think I will be ending stream. But let me just do a thing. What I want to do is... This is the... Wait, whatever the value currently is, I want to remember. Let me just store it in here. Let's call it period to... no, it's not even that. It's end period to offset. So it's the index of the period array that we're going to offset. Let's do this first instead of this. Although initially we will set it to this. Why? So this was the original. I will go and save the kidneys, I promise. Then down here, if this, I know we'll just subtract something. Let's just subtract. I don't know. 5. And oh, let's make this signed actually, because it might go below 0. And then if this is below 0, actually if it's below 1, I think 0 is... I think 0 is not gonna work. Yeah, 0 is... Yeah, probably not gonna work. Yeah, no, 0 would work. 0 would be resetting to the beginning of the chirp on every single sample. So it would just be outputting the 0 constantly and constantly. Whereas 15 lets it read 15 values in before it restarts. So it'll be a 15 sample long loop. That's how the pitch gets faster, by cutting the loop short. And eventually the loop gets so long that it actually just stays silent because the period is longer than the entire chirp array. Basically the chirp is repeated at a certain speed. And if that speed is really long, it's a chirp and then some silence, and then a chirp and then some silence. And if the period is really short, then it starts playing the chirp and then it restarts before it gets all the way through it. So it's like ch. Because if it's less than 1, then we'll cap it to 1. Else, then we might as well do it this way, because it's not going to be both above and below. So we can just do only 1 check instead of 2. If this is larger than or equal to the length of the... Yeah, if this is larger than or equal to the length of the pitch table, which is 0x40. I don't have a definition or like a constant for this yet, so I'm just gonna hard code it for now. Because I just want to see if this even works. Then yeah, cap it to this -1. And then we'll reassign the value of this to this. So we'll just do the exact same line. And that should offset the so this is test for overriding pitch. And this is for test for offsetting pitch. So this is forcing it to be a constant sound, so it's monotone, and this is adding or subtracting from the value, the period value in the lookup table. So yeah, this should be a higher pitched uke since we're subtracting 5. As a reminder, the pitch that she normally speaks at is this. By the way, a high quality Long Yook jump scare. Snail 2. Slow, slow, you go. Slow, slow, nyan, 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 nyan. And we're going to subtract 5 from whatever pitch value that was encoded to. And upload it first. Hold on, it's still uploading. I haven't even started. Thank you very much for the follows, Senior Meowsers. See what it sounds like. Oh my god! This works so well! Wow! What if you try to subtract 10? I don't even know what values these are encoded to. I could be displaying these on the LCD actually. I'd be so it might be, I feel like it might be capping it to the highest pitch. I feel like it's being capped. Yeah, that's the highest pitch you can do. Interesting. The wavering. Okay, so let's add +10 to make it lower. It kind of does. It's really lower pitch than the original. It's so simple. Interesting thing is that the pitch is not perfectly like logarithmic, so I think as the values are getting higher, it sounds like the pitch is changing less, which is kind of funny. Like she's getting less enthusiastic. So it seems that the codec that was made... Hold on, I haven't used the meow redeem. Oh, sorry, I haven't done the meow yet. I just noticed the meow redeem. Let me just upload this and I'll hear it. Now I'll do it. This is so fascinating that it just works. I don't know. I'm not sure if the pitch difference is remaining the same or not. But also, more importantly... There you go. Oh god. Oh, and another one for liquid cake. Whoops. Turn on the reverb too soon. I'm sorry, they're very quiet. What the fuck, Topo? I tried my best! Can't believe I'm getting booed. My nyans are getting booed with cheese instead of tomatoes. Although cheese and tomato will go very nicely together. Kind of want a sandwich right now. Wow! Ow!
Sir.
Thank you very much for the follow, Inemrity. Is that something to do with, sleeping? In Japanese? God, I should be doing that soon. I don't know what the word actually is. But it sounds like that. Yeah, okay, that works. I think I will end the stream. However, thank you for the pats, Shy. You're hoping to preempt. You wanted like 2 in a row. Yeah, so as you can tell, this format was made for manly men with deep voices and not small long yooks with high-pitched voices, because we reached the highest that the codec could encode. And that was it. And the pitches get less. Thank you for the pads, Exia. Hi, Exia. The pitches get less accurate as it goes higher, like bigger steps in pitch, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to see if I can modify the encoder to use a different period table. Oh, that's actually not really going to help though, because the pitches at the beginning, the periods at the beginning are not skipping, they're just going one at a time. This is just what it sounds like if you make the loop one sample longer at 8 kilohertz. So I'd have to change the format more substantially to be able to get it to go, to be smoother in pitch. I could make it wait a second. No, I might actually be able to change this. I actually think I might try changing the encoder to be able to get more accuracy in the high pitches. I'm gonna try it. Okay, just up sample, encode, down sample. You mean like down sample, encode, up sample? Well, I could, but then I'd have to have the CPU running at a higher speed to be able to play the sound at a higher sample rate. This is already like quite close to the maximum that it can handle. And it's like actually blowing over. It's like taking longer than it should take. Thank you for the passive ball. It's taking longer than it should take to decode a frame already. It's long enough to be generating the samples, but decoding a frame takes like actually quite a few samples. Whereas ideally it would be happening in the space of one sample, but as it turns out, it's not really noticeable when it's playing, thankfully. So, but if we were to try to do more than the 8 kilohertz that it's currently doing, which is actually more like 8.1 kilohertz, because I'm already upsampling it slightly to make it slightly cuter sounding, then that would be too much. But yeah, that would definitely be a way to have a higher pitch and higher quality. Yeah, that might be a thing that I try. I might try it. Oh, sorry, I just noticed the oscilloscope went blank. I've never seen it do that before. I mean, I've turned off the oscilloscope, so it makes sense, but usually it just hangs on the last frame. Use dynamic pitch so you can add Doppler as she slides by at high speed. But she says slow, you go. It'll be very ironic if it's like slow as she goes past. You could also adjust the energy, which I believe is basically the volume. So as she goes past, have it go up and then fade away as she goes into the distance. That's kind of funny. Sample at a higher rate. Yeah, I do know what you mean, yes. And yes, that is correct, it would work, but it would require playing back at a higher sample rate. Perhaps she's actually really huge, so that's what looks slow. So what looks slow is actually Mach 3. Oh my goodness, the strange Long Yook lore it just keeps going. It just keeps writing itself. Actually, that's rude of me. It's being written by people with good imaginations. That's who it's being written by. It's not writing itself. Okay, I'm putting some resistors away now. There's now a third resistor on my desk, though. At some point I should put these away, and in fact at some point I should I haven't mentioned this before, but I've printed off a bunch of like, wait, what the fuck am I still recording for? I've been recording the input to my sound card for like the last 20 minutes apparently. Amazing. I didn't know I was still recording all that time. Why was I recording again? There was a reason. Look at that. Look how obvious it is when it's reaching the highest pitch. Anyway, let's close that. I've got another window open as well. Yeah, I promise I'll go and see the kidney soon. But I one day I will, maybe I'll do it on stream, sort out the component drawers so that each resistor value is segmented into like a tiny little thingy, so that I don't need to have them on the strips of like the stuff that they're on now. What they're on at the moment is like, these are the resistors. Just imagine that there's actually like, they have a body and it's not just a piece of wire. And then there's like this along the edges. Oh, it's pants. Thank you. I can't see right now, but I can hear them. Thank you. I wasn't sure if it was going to be yeeted or not. They're on like these bits of paper here, which are like, it's actually like 2 pieces of paper sandwiched that were sticky. So they were like this, and then they put a resistor through like this. And then they sandwiched these 2 pieces together like this. And you end up with this. So yeah, this takes up like the width of an entire drawer, like this. So very much not to scale. So it'd be nice if I could split the drawer down the middle, like this. Or just have a drawer like this. So you split down the middle and then into segments like this. I've done this, but without this middle piece, like this, for different LEDs. LEDs are different colors. I didn't split them this way as well because I needed the space because there were so many LEDs. But I reckon that if I reckon I can get the, also the legs are like longer, I think. But if I can split them into these sections like that, then yeah. And so to that end, well, that's a good point. I don't know where I saved this. Is it in here? I printed off some stuff. I wonder if it's in my downloads folder for electronics. Misc. Design. Oh, there it is. So I made a bunch of drawers like this. Things like this. And I printed it off, and I was planning on like separating the drawers like this. But I just haven't got around to actually like hot gluing them all in, or like sticking them in. Because I want to put the hot glue in so that there's like no gaps around the edges that the components can slip through. Anyway, sometime I'll like do that, and then things will be easier to find and just grab and use and put away when I'm not using them anymore, which will be the big thing. So yeah, at some point I might do that on stream. Absolutely not today. It's going to take a long time and probably be a little noisy with all the components like rattling around. Does anyone know that feeling when you're hungry but too hungry to get up and make food? Oh god, that doesn't sound good. I hope you can make it out of that stage. You deserve better than to be looking at me for the last moments of your life. Is there anything that I can't turn into a self-deprecation? No, there is not. Okay, I'm gonna be ending now. Do I snip off the adhesive or put it off? I snip, because if I pull the LED out of the adhesive, then it leaves like a bit of stickiness on the end, which won't conduct as well. And then if I were to put that into the breadboard, it would like gunk up the connection inside the breadboard, so it would just be like no good from that point on. So I do snip a little bit. Also, the legs would be like way too long otherwise. They're like I used to pull them and then like try to like clean off the stickiness, but yeah, once I started building big like putting more stuff on the breadboard, I realized that I didn't want, that was weird. Did you see that? I started clicking and dragging and nothing appeared. I didn't want like big resistor legs sticking up out of the breadboard like this, because when you've got loads of them next to each other, they can just like bend over, and then like this leg would short with this leg and stuff. So yeah, it's nice to just have tiny little legs like that. Like the legs continue underneath a bit inside the holes, but all you see sticking out from the top is a small thing that can't easily press against any nearby things and short unintentionally. So yeah, it's like a win-win by cutting them short. Thanks for going to my TED Talk. Why is my frame rate a slideshow? Isn't a slideshow for you? It's like really slow for me right now. It's also delayed and moving now. So I was moving too far, the tracking was dying and it made it look like the delay was worse. Anyway, I'm gonna end now. Thank you very much for hanging out. Sorry this has been a tiny stream where not much was done, but I guess at least we tested the picture writing thing. I kind of expected it extremely strongly to work. I don't want to say I knew it'd work, but I very much expected it due to how the codec works and how you can override the pitch easily on the encoder as well. So it's like, okay, I guess this must not be too hard to do. And yeah, sure enough, they're just setting up fighting. Also, okay, I want to be passing it on to somebody. There are 3 potential candidates right now. You know, I haven't raided El Clunk in quite a while. I think I'm gonna go over to the Clunk. It's been like, I believe what you'd call a hot minute. What is he doing right now? Hey, why am I stretched by the way? Hey, let's find out what El Clunk's doing. I'm sure his stream title is really sane and like super easy to understand and not at all esoteric and ambiguous and like a riddle in and of itself. But let's find out. Surely. An upwelling of liquid courage, El Clunk bubbling brooks, deep flows of water studied, courses revealed and corrected, gently roiling mail. Yes, exactly as I thought. Perfectly easy to understand, not a riddle in itself, straight to the point. Alright. That's I kind of wish I had his knack for talents, for titles like that. I deliberate over a title for like a quarter of an hour and then the best I can come up with is a meta title about how this is the best title I could come up with. Thanks for the beatboxing speakers. You're welcome. I don't know, were they beatboxing? Eventually there might be singing. I don't know if she'd be beatboxing. That'd be kind of interesting actually. If you could like insert like consonant, like plosive sounds, as well as the singing sounds, the voiced sounds. Unfortunately, we won't delay the sounds though. They will need to be like sequential, like it's like you've got one stream. Doing video things. Oh, okay, this sounds pretty cool. Ma, the guy is leaving the computer. It's true. Also, hi, Warden Logic. Also, bye, Warden Logic. I'm sorry, I just realized that Nyan was for you. That Nyan was for you. Glad I got to see you again. I'm glad you're here as well. I'm sorry, I know Shy Assassin only got here recently as well. I'm sorry. I'm sliding out. I'm abandoning you. Here we are, we're going to El Clunk. The ASCII VTuber, I'm not sure that he's the only one, but I'd say he's very much the coolest. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're doing. Raid message can be, how about the raid message is Nyan, Nyan, Nyan. Oh, that's a bit cringy actually, isn't it? Okay, let's do this. This can be the raid message. If you have access to this emote, then feel free to use this. Oh, I just entered the wrong one. Oh my god. If you have access to this emote, then you can use that. If you do not have access to that emote, then you can use this worm emoji, which I associate with the Long Yook. Alright, thank you very much for hanging out. I will endeavour to stream a few more times this week, although there are builders banging around nearby, so if I can not get any sleep, then I might be struggling to try to get sleep at other times. But we'll see. Thank you for hanging out. You've been really kind. I'm disappearing. Ah! Pew. Let me not forget to copy my own raid message this time like I do literally every time. Okay, I'm gone.